KiwiDad.com there, but he's right. What can you do? It's not as simple as going without your daily coffee. The situation is much more complex. But Tauranga Dad Logan Donnelly has found a way, saving thousands with a few key cost-cutting tips. So he joins us now to share his advice. Morena, Logan, thank you so much for coming on this morning. We really appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Matty?
I'm very well, thank you. Although, are you feeling the pinch like everyone else at the moment, Logan? It's tough out there, right?
Yeah, I think the rise in shopping costs and things like that is definitely hitting everybody pretty hard, and yeah, we definitely notice it. And gas prices, they said, with diesel going up, is crazy.
Yeah, tell us about your situation as well. You've got a young family.
Yeah. So my wife and I had a baby back in November, and we started to try and figure out ways for her to, when her maternity leave ended, to not work full time. So I kind of went super dad mode and started mapping out all our expenses and budget, and I wrote up a little guide just to try and help people. So things like power, internet, and then I posted it to Reddit, which then got quite a few views. And it really helped.
Yeah, we'll get to some of your tips and tricks soon, but was there a light bulb moment, Logan? Was there something that happened where you went, I need to do something about this because this cost of living is getting out of control?
Yeah, I think I actually wrote down all our expenses and did a budget for like the first time in my life. And then when you actually map out all the costs, that was when I was like, oh, wow, look at all these things. Like, you see the things you have to pay, but you see the things that are actually kind of flexible or you can compare. And yeah, then it was like, oh, we could probably save quite a bit. So I think, mapping out our actual spending was a huge one.
Okay, so let's start with where you first focused your attention. What was the first thing you noticed where you thought, well, this has got to change?
So probably the first one was just looking at the power bill that we had and then comparing it with other companies and seeing there was like $100 difference a month, and like that's quite substantial. And then same with the internet, when we compared, a lot of places do 3 months for free when you sign up, and so that's like $200-300. So straight away off the bat, we're saving like $1,500 by switching, which was then I was like, wow, I can't believe how big it is.
Yeah, were you amazed at the savings you could make?
Yeah, I think when we stacked it all up, we ended up saving about $5,000 annually, which is crazy because we were getting the same services in the end. If anything, they're kind of better now. So I think to save $5,000 and still the same thing was really helpful. So yeah.
Okay, so power came first. Tell us some of the other things that you did, or some of your other tips and tricks that you found out along the way that helped you out save some of that money.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I started just mapping out every competitor that did different things like internet and just looking for free deals and stuff like that. Another one was insurance. If you are able to have $1,000 in the bank, you can then set your excess to $1,000, and that puts the price down quite substantially. You obviously have to be able to have $1,000 in the bank, which can be tricky, and not everybody can do that. But if you can, that's a huge saving. I mean, I think we saved $1,500 a year on insurance as well. So it's pretty crazy.
Some of those big things that are causing people headaches at the moment are, of course, petrol and supermarket prices as well. Were there any tips and tricks that you figured out there to help you out?
Yeah, so there's Gas Spy, which is an app that compares different petrol prices around your local area. I'm really lucky. I work from home for an awesome company called Sarah. Shout out to them. So I don't have to pay for gas as much. But then Pack and Save is always the cheapest generally. And about every 3 weeks, they do a sale on meat, like chicken breast goes on sale quite a bit every 3 weeks. So we buy in bulk, bag it and freeze it. So that's just another way you can save.
Yeah, awesome. And you found doing something like a click and collect type service really helped you out as well, right? You weren't tempted when you went into the supermarket.
Yeah, so once we started tracking on budget, realized every time we go in the supermarket, especially if you haven't eaten, we always just grab all the other things, because you see that sweet treat and you want it. Where even though click and collect costs $6, we were saving quite a bit because it's always the same thing every single week. And then you obviously change it around. So yeah, that's definitely well worth doing.
So these are some really simple tips and tricks that you've figured out, Logan, and lots of our viewers are probably already doing similar things as well. But how much of a difference has it made to your life implementing these things?
I think the biggest one is that my wife hasn't had to go back to work full time. She's just doing part time and also making like dried floral wreaths. So like that means she gets to spend more time with our little daughter, Delilah. And you can't really put like a price on that. I think that's such a huge thing, and it's been so worth it. I might just do a quick thing just to say that anyone that needs help with budgeting or wants to see this guide, it is on I've got an Instagram called @KiwiDad, and you can just grab it straight off there. Just because I think the hardest bit with budgeting is just setting up a template and doing it. And it's just a basic budget, but I think it helps a lot.
Yeah, what resonated with you in terms of wanting to actually offer that help and advice and guide for people?
So I did, like I said, it was more just for us to try and figure out. And then we have a neighbor just 2 houses down who also has a little bubba and was asking for those tips. So I just wrote it all up and graphed it. And then I posted it to Reddit after that because it helped him. And then from there, just more and more people kept messaging me saying it had helped them a lot. So kind of just went from there.
How does that feel to know that it's really helping people out?
Really good. I think I've had a few people message saying that they saved quite a few $1,000s and now it's not so hard every week. And I think that's, it's just really, it's a nice feeling to know you're helping other people, and it's just helped us as well. So it's cool. It's just sort of organically grown.
Beautiful. Logan, thank you so much for coming on. It sounds like your phone might be blowing up this morning as well. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I can hear it. Sorry.
People asking for tips and tricks. There you go. Logan Donnelly joining us from Tauranga this morning.
For the guide.
Yeah, really appreciate it. We'll post a link to your social page as well so people can go and find that. Logan Donnelly joining us.